Hi, everybody. Apparently, it did not want to connect today. So there we go. So what a week. Yeah, it's been interesting. But I wanted to share with you something that happened, and it just and every once in a while I will just have these moments that cement how important it is to be kind. And for those that you don't know, I am the health program manager at a place called Donico Pet Clinic, and we have a program where we have veterinarian care and we have human health care. And so when people come in to get their pets seen, they can also see a doctor. And this is for people who are experiencing low income or homelessness. We do it completely free. Hi, Erin. Nice to see you. Um, so we get people lining up very early, and it was a little before work, and I'm just doing the basic, pick, kind of tidying up before we open the doors. And there's a woman outside, and she is just beside herself, and she's like, listen, I'm pretty sure my dog's dying. I got her in the car, she's bleeding, she's pooing everywhere. Hi, Michael, I am doing well. And she's just in tears. So I went inside, and as soon as our vets got there, they got the dog in, and unfortunately, the dog had to be put down. And she is just so upset. And so I'm talking to her, and I realize that I need to get her into a room. So we allowed her to sit with her pet for a while, and then towards the end, I went and sat with her, and I found out that she had lost her family members, mom and dad. Hi, Matt. She'd lost her family members, and ended up, her dog had ended up getting cancer. And she ended up deciding that once she ended up losing her job. And so she decided to use her unemployment to pay for her dog's oncology, which, if you know, is super expensive. And so she made the choice to, well, it's not really a choice. She chose the care of her dependent. And so she moved into her vehicle, and with her money she has been surviving with her dog and kind of doing the showing her dog the sights and things like that. But since her parents had died, she just didn't have anybody except her dog, and so that was like her lifeline. Um, and it was so hard because she was telling me, she went from vet to vet to vet and was doing the treatment until she ran out of money. And she was treated like dirt until she got to us. Yeah, so we ended up having to put her dog down, and she's just like, that's my only reason for surviving. I'm now in my car, and she's just going over this story with me, and my heart just hurt. Um, so, of course, I made sure to get her number and have followed up. Now, first, I wanted to make sure she was mentally okay, because that's a situation when you lose so much, it can cause depression, suicide, things like that. So, I wanted to make sure that she was okay. I knew she wouldn't be well, but I wanted to make sure she was okay. So, just kind of touching base and things like that. And then she had a family member that can take her in Pennsylvania, but she had to figure out a way to get there. So, what I am doing now is I am sharing just the main bullet points of her story, and anyone who can help her, I have, instead of my information in the description, there is her information, is her Cash App and her PayPal, and she needs gas money to get to Pennsylvania. Um, and she's survived. She's doing okay. But she just took a really big hit. And after listening to her life story and just the really amazing and good things that she's done in this world, only to have been treated so, just so awful. Um, by people that we would hope would have compassion and empathy. Um, I realized, after kind of messaging with her, and she was just like, "Thank you for being so kind. Um, Thank you for being wonderful." Nobody, and it was just like, it threw me back and remembering how important that those that were, even if it was a small kindness, those that were kind meant the difference, because there were so many people that treat others with disrespect and judgment, and it can feel humiliating and heartbreaking to be out there. And so just being able to be in a place to really, reach out, listen, and provide a little bit of support has been wonderful, honestly. And I believe that that has hopefully made a huge impact. Well, she said it made a impact in her life, so I'm just going to believe that that's true. And I wanted to share her situation with you guys in case anybody wanted to help out in that manner. So if you do want to help, it's in the descriptions. It's not my information, it's hers. So go ahead. And even if you can't give money, like, I think, I'm not sure, but I think one of them will allow you to send messages, or like a positive message or something. I don't know. um, yeah, it was. I'm not an angel, but I do understand. I could just feel it. That feeling where somebody's, a good person's losing hope, right? Like, you can just sense just the hope seep out of somebody. And I just feel that when you sense that or you feel that, it's so important to reinforce kindness. And so every once in a while, I just get like this knowing that this needs to be an extended kindness, right? Like, it's nice to like open a door, but sometimes, that support needs to be a little more in there, you know, and reach out. Um, Hi, that one girl. Kamala. I'm 32 and gave up on women. Oh, well, um, okay. Sorry about your luck. I don't know what to tell you about that, but we're just gonna remove the comment, because honestly, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Not even my like, no offense. I just whatever. Anyhow, so next thing. Um, so we have been really pushing. Um, so it's been difficult getting people into housing because they're concentrating on the downtown core to get people in. And so I finally, I had an older gentleman who has been on the streets quite a long time. I've known, him more so as animals, but him too. And, he's a really great guy. He's overcome a lot of stuff, and he's in recovery now. And he came and he's like, "Listen, I'm ready. I need to get off these streets. I have to." And that's like right there. That's like when somebody says, "I'm ready, I'm over it." That's when you're just like, pull together, all stops, right? Like, that person needs housing. And so we were able to push forth on that, and I signed his certification of homelessness, just letting them know that he is indeed homeless, and hopefully he will be getting into housing soon. So yay. um, yeah, it's been a pretty full week. We have a thing coming up, and it's called Giving Tuesday. And so, hi, Seattle Judy, and thank you, Matt. um, so we have this thing coming up called Giving Tuesday, and what it is it's a chance for people. It's like a worldwide thing where it's a chance for people to give back in however they can. So that's like volunteer efforts, spreading the word, advocacy, donations, and finding funders. And so I'm going to be pushing really hard on that. for Donico, of course, also kind of Seattle Dogs Homeless Program, and the other ones I work with. So it's super exciting. A lot has gotten done this week. Um, I only had like a hiccup, I will call it. Um, Thank you, Aaron. So I had a hiccup because I've been just like so tired lately, right? Like hard to even wake up. I'm exhausted and I'm not altogether sure why I want to sleep so much, but I'm trying really hard. Um, I do too, Matt. Like he's a really good guy. He's a really good guy. Um, Not to say he's perfect, but he's a really good older gentleman. And as a matter of fact, he was, when he approached me, he was volunteering with me for Seattle Dogs, and he put in work. And I'm a person that will go in. I want to get done what needs to get done, so I can get real bossy, and I know how to organize. Like I'm on point. And he took it all with a grain of salt. Was like, yeah, let's get it done, and was on that. And I just what a great human being, right? Like to set aside, like so many people can sit there sometimes and be like, well, I'm in this situation, whatever, everybody sucks, because in that situation a lot of times everybody sucks. But to set aside that thing and volunteer your time, effort, and love for an organization that has helped you out just going through your own struggles, it's just beautiful to see. And it really speaks volumes about that person's character. Um, so yeah, but anyway, back to the I've been tired. So we had, and most of my meetings are not in person. I have kind of carved out a niche, whereas I can do my work a lot of times from home. The only time I really go in person is when I'm doing community liaison work or Donico, and I am at Donico on Thursdays. So I've been super tired, and I had this meeting, and it was in person for HCHN, which was Healthcare Network for the Homeless. And Christina, one of my good friends and colleague, she's like, "Hey, I'll pick," because my vehicle's broken. So she's like, "Hey, I'll pick you up," and I'm like, "Okay, awesome." She's like, "I'll have coffee because it's been really cold." And so I'm like, okay, go to sleep. I get woken up by a phone call at 7:15, which I should have been up by like 4:45. And it's Christine. She's like, "I'm down here with coffee." And I'm like, ah! It's like roll out of bed, throw on jeans, throw on, a sweatshirt. And then I can't find my glasses. And if you look, my glasses have like a clear. They're very. If I put them anywhere, like if they fall off my nightstand and they fall on the floor, I can't see them because I need glasses. And so I was feeling around and I couldn't find them, but I know I needed to go. So I rush out the door, no glasses. So now I can't see anything. And I really rely on like heavily reading like body language and all of facial expressions. And now I can't see anybody's face, and I'm anxious as hell. I don't like going in person necessarily anyway, so I'm just like doodling and trying not to, make an ass out of myself. But yeah, that was the little hiccup in my week, is, being unprepared sometimes but still showing up. I care enough to show, so. And then let's see, we've got our Bring America Home Now campaign. That's through National Coalition for the Homeless. This week we will be talking with National Alliance for Ending Homelessness about our upcoming conference. And I will keep you all posted on that because I'm pretty sure I'll be speaking. Let's see. Oh, hello, Charlene. Matt, I have gotten to know an American woman whose daughter is homeless and using drugs. Do you have advice that I can share with the mom? Love her. Love her. Like, you know, that's another thing, like this week, right? I had family come from Wisconsin, and it's, um, TJ comes in, he's high, so high, out of his mind, gets rude, gets nasty with people we haven't seen in a while, and people that he loves. and storms out because I told him he can't stay the night anymore. He can come, he can have clean clothes, he can eat, he can get warm, he can get a blanket or a sleeping bag, but he has to leave at night. He cannot be here overnight. His addiction has, just really rocked my mental health. And I can't do that anymore because I need to be there for a lot of people, not just him, right? And so, it's important to my daughters for me to be healthy, that. So, but the one thing that I always say is, I love you. What he does with his life, while it breaks my heart and makes me wish I could just like, stop. In the end, I love him and I will love him through whatever is going on. Does it break my heart? Yes. Does it make me angry? Yes. But the thing is what is imperative is seeking therapy. These things should be talked out with a therapist, not the person that you're having. Like my feelings about his drug abuse, that needs to be shared with a therapist. All right, somebody who is in the height of addiction doesn't need somebody else's emotional issues on top of what they're suffering, because believe me, they're suffering. You know, the crux of drug addiction is most often in trauma, and that person is trying to escape that pain. And can you imagine the kind of pain you're trying to escape, where you have to alter your consciousness even if it has horrible repercussions on the body? This is, I think we can't get it twisted that it's a sickness and that these people are suffering. And so that means even when I don't want to, when I want to scream and yell and throw things, it's not appropriate. I need to keep calm and I need to remember that I am dealing with somebody who is undergoing trauma, and take my feelings and I take this little inside, make believe box, and I put them all in it, shut the box, and then I go to my therapist and I talk about it and process it and work those things out. So I would say walk with love, educate yourself about harm reduction. Harm reduction opened my eyes so much. Now I give talks on harm reduction, and also set boundaries for yourself, for your own health. But there's no reason to take out the anger feelings in boundaries, right? In boundary setting. So that's what I would have to say. I do not think that they live in Seattle. Thanks. And also, when the person is ready, look at mental and behavioral health, including substance abuse disorder, is very, very difficult to access in the United States. If you are not on Medicaid, it depends on where you live, whether there's a Medicaid expansion. There's so many things that will unfortunately cause barriers to your access to getting better. Let's see. That one girl, I keep an emergency pair of glasses in a drawer. I know I need that, right? So I have an eye doctor appointment coming up on the 17th, and I think I'm going to get a new prescription because I think these are not working as well as they should be anymore, which I have to go to. It's not an optometrist. I go to an ophthalmologist because I have glaucoma. So we need to just I'm having some trouble with my eyes. So they're going to figure all that out, and I'll probably get a new prescription. And you are right. I will get 2 pairs and I will have an emergency pair, and I won't be doing clear anymore. I need to see where they're at. Your content is so sweet yet informative. Thank you for being thank you so much, Charlene. I appreciate that. That one girl, same with my daughter. I always get a phone call that my daughter has been found dead somewhere. Yes. Actually, I was just talking about that this week, about grieving somebody, because the thing is, a lot of people will tell you, they'll be like, they have to hit their own rock bottom. And when you work in the field and you work in harm reduction and you work in homeless services, you start to understand that rock bottom many times means death. And so you're waiting for that phone call. And if you've ever gotten that phone call before, you don't want it. You don't want it. So you try to prepare yourself for any eventuality, knowing that if they don't choose to get better, the rock bottom that they will face is death. And for a parent, it's hard to think about, yet process. And so yeah, that is that one girl, that is exactly, that grieving process of knowing that if they choose not to, or they can't for whatever reason, accept the help or find help that's appropriate, then many times they will die. Um, America, do you ever wonder if displaying his personal issues to the public can be hurtful? An actual question, not to target anyone. I could, yes, that has been a concern. So, my family members know that I am online. My son has actually taken part in my content before, and he has no problem with me talking about my life and things that affect it. And that includes the issues that he's struggling with. What I say out of love. I am not airing his business. I'm talking about the effect, and I'm doing so in hopes to educate others, because it isn't just me and him struggling with this. This is millions of people going through this. And so the more that we can show the realities of what that looks like, and ways that we're handling it, and ways that we're coping with it, and ways that we're surviving through it, that's a good thing. There is a difference between exploitation and education. Let's see. Matthew J. Amanda, happy Sunday. Sorry for late check-in. I am having a nice weekend. It's been very chill. Again, I have been napping quite a bit. I'm so tired. I did paint a little bit today. Um, let's see. I've gotten calls from a probation officer, the courts, and the Phoenix Police Department about her. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's just like, it's a hard road to walk. It's a really hard road to walk. I wish you strength, because it isn't for the weak. And sometimes it's really hard to, see these things happening, and want to, and sometimes it's appropriate to remove yourself for a little bit from the situation. I've had to do that too. Let's see. I think you kind of meant addiction touches so many people. It does. It really does. It's very hard. And one of the hardest things that I had to learn is that, and I learned it with my brother, but I learned it even harder with my stepson. And when my brother committed suicide, you know, I still, I just didn't get it. And then when Philip committed suicide, I was like, the hardest thing I think in life is letting go of your feeling or my feelings about others' choices. Um, so what I mean by that is, there was, especially after my brother, there was a lot of anger. Why would you do this to me? Why would you? And it just clicked one day. It was like, it's not about you. He was suffering, and he had no one, or at least felt like he had no one. He felt like he was a burden. He felt that what he was doing was good for this world because he was in so much pain. And I turned it from something about me to understanding that sometimes I don't understand the magnitude of the pain someone is going in. And no matter what, I can't make them choose life. And that was a very hard lesson to learn. So, thank you, Matthew. Aaron, yeah, he is. That's the thing. He is such a good human. Like, when he is sober, like today, right? So he knows he can't stay here overnight, but today he came in sober, because I can tell when he's off that, and I can tell when he's sober. He came in, hey mom, got you some chicken, and have you eaten today? And like, he is so sweet and so kind and a good human being when he is not using. I don't know what it is about the drugs that he is using, but it just is heartbreaking because you know that this person has so much potential and so much to give this world if they can heal. But they keep digging holes, right? And you're like, stop, trying to put the dirt back in. um, let's see. I remember jails, institutions. That was what was taught if choosing was stepbrother who experienced first two eventually got it together, and some do, and many do. Uh, looking at some of the statistics is hard, but there are. I'm hoping for the best. My mother escaped. May we see today's painting? Not quite yet, because I'm still real like it's a new one for me. You'll see. I will share pictures for sure, but not right now. I just like whitewash part of it, so it looks a little off. Um, my mother escaped the first two, but eventually her choice brought her death. Yep. Let's see. Aspen has made me older than I am. Her addiction has taken control of her life. That's yes, and that's very common. I would say that I go in and out of feeling like that. Learning that the scariest thing was actually, I think, telling him he couldn't stay here overnight anymore. Um, because I just worried, like, what is if he doesn't have a place to stay? He's not safe. What's he going to do? But it seems to have sparked something in him. So I think that by giving the rights that he needs, getting clean, warm food, making sure that he if he needs to contact anybody, he can use the phone. Get some rest. He came and took a nap the other day. He's just not allowed to stay overnight. And if I'm having trouble, then I can ask him to leave. And he seems to be examining maybe a little deeper. Um, he usually is nice and considerate when he's sober. As hard as it is, you're making the right choice. Exactly. And it's for my own mental health, but it's also because I think as long as that happens, he isn't in a place to have to change anything. So I don't know. And here's the thing. I'm just going through it. That's it. I don't have all the answers. I'm probably doing things wrong. I don't know, or at least some things wrong and some things right, as per the usual. I can only share what I'm going through and how we're dealing with it, and share what I've learned about harm reduction and addiction, and really what we can do about that. Which, please support mental and behavioral health access. Please. It is so important. And educating ourselves on mental illnesses, because I think a lot of times they're the armchair diagnosis, everybody gets thrown in together under this great umbrella of crazy, and that's not the way to do things. So I think a lot of education, support your organizations that for mental and behavioral health. Make sure they can keep going. It's so important. Told Aspen that I'm willing to meet her somewhere and I'll buy her food. But until, yeah. And that is a choice that, is a lot of times has to be made. So anyway, that has been my week. And again, the woman I was talking about, her info is in my descriptions. I'm just going to keep that there until, she reaches the place that she reaches. And if you are in a position to show her some love, please do. Please do. She's literally gone through one of the worst moments in her life in the last 2 weeks. So anyhow, I appreciate you all, and I figured I'd come on here and share. And I will share later and let you know how my week's going and keep in contact. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And thank you, Matthew. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, Matt. Bye, Aaron.